Hey, this is Kaufman is a live YouTube channel. I look at comic books new and old. Today I'm looking at a new comic book, Ultimate Spider-Man number 7. Jonathan Hickman's the writer. Marco Cicchetto is the artist. He's on the cover here as well. And it's a cool cover here. Split image of Green Goblin and Spider-Man from this Ultimate Universe. We got all the Oscorp, like computer graphics around them, checking out their suits. Spider-Man's got this Picotech suit, and this is a Mark IV Iron Man armor suit that Green Goblin has on. And as you see, it says user Dr. Otto Octavius and password there. So we're looking in on Otto Octavius's files here. And that's what we get in the issue here. And we'll get into it. This is July, as this comic book goes month to month as we go along month to month. So that's kind of cool. It's fun to follow along with this book. We've got Dr. Otto Octavius here. He doesn't have his arms yet, but as you can see, kind of hinting at it. And as throughout this whole book, we get lots of hints at little Easter eggs, at things that we know of because of the 616 universe. This whole comic kind of feels like a movie you might watch, you know, like Deadpool and Wolverine, for instance. And they show something in the movie that makes you remember something from the comic books. This comic book is doing a very similar thing where it's giving you little hints of things that you know of from past Spider-Man comic books. So we got the hint of the arms there from Octavius. And we learn about some of the personalities here on these 2 pages, about all 3 of these characters. We kind of learn that this version of Peter really doesn't know much about science or technology at all. You know, he's just kind of a photographer who got gifted this suit by the ultimate Tony Stark. And Harry also isn't that, you know, well versed in technology and things like that. So, and Octavius obviously is like one of the smartest people on the planet. He was hired by Norman Osborn to be the big brain at Oscorp. So, and then he starts talking about their suits here, and he explains that they're both Stark Tech, but they're different Stark Tech. While, you know, Harry's suit is more like Stark 1.0 armor, basically. Peter's is Stark 2.0. And as I mentioned earlier, Peter's is kind of like this Picotech suit. And Octavius actually takes a little sample of it, and he says, we're going to save this one for later. So to me, this is almost hinting at, you know, the symbiote. Perhaps we'll see some more symbiotes because of Octavius storing a little bit of it here. And Octavius says that the suits can also be loaded with profiles. Best way I could describe it is in the Spider-Man No Way Home movies, where Spider-Man can talk to his suit and it talks back like a Siri type of thing. That's what Octavius has here loading up into their suits. And he says he can load, you know, profiles from the past like Napoleon, Lincoln, Caesar. He asks Peter what'll it be, and he says, I like to talk to myself. And Octavius says, I don't think you're getting the full, you know, scope of what this can do. You're kind of losing out, but your suit can do that. And then also what I think is a bit of a hint, we suddenly get Peter in the shadows, like as soon as he mentions that. To me, hinting at that symbiote suit. And that's not the last of it, even in this issue. And then Harry, he says he'd rather talk to his dad. So they're going to load up the Green Goblin suit with the profile of Norman Osborn. So I think you can probably guess where this might be heading. So then we get our little interlude with Mary Jane and Gwen Stacy. They're visiting the paper, which is Ben Riley and J. Jonah Jameson's offshoot of the Daily Bugle since they quit once it got took over by Wilson Fisk. And they meet someone in the parking garage down here who's got something for them. And it's Robbie Robertson, who's still working for the Bugle. And they tell him that he can come work for them. But he says maybe it'd be better if he stayed on the inside. So he hands them off some sort of story that the Bugle's not going to print. And he says maybe you guys should print this. So I like everything they're setting up there. And there's really good dialogue here between like Ben and Jameson and Peter and Harry. Really well written stuff. Then we get to the Illuminati here, the big bad guys in the Ultimate Universe. There's Captain Britain here. And he's meeting with Wilson Fisk. They're admiring a picture of the Maker here, as if he's like Jesus Christ or something. They said, "All hail the Maker, he who remade the world." Fisk says he actually never met him. And we also learned that this takes place after Ultimates #1, where I actually thought Captain Britain got killed in Ultimates #1. He gets stepped on by Giant Man and we never see him again. But apparently he's fine. He says that he offers Fisk an entire army of these bullseyes because his last bullseye got taken out. And Fisk kind of plays dumb about knowing how that bullseye got taken out. And Fisk just says he doesn't want to use them. He can take out his enemies his own way. So then we cut right to Spider-Man and Goblin battling each other. Of course, it's just a little friendly skirmish, exhibition. They're testing out their suits. And then we get the first glimpse of Peter kind of talking to himself here through his suit. And the way they depict it even reminds me of Venom, because the suit's talking to Peter saying, "We are," and "we should," and everything is "we," like "we are Venom." And the colorist even colors it in black and white, just like they do in the Venom comic book. So I think pretty sure that's where this is leading towards. Perhaps this suit continues to corrupt Peter. And same with the Goblin suit here, as he starts to talk to his own dad, who's giving him advice here. But as Peter starts to completely overwhelm him, he just starts calling him soft and weak, which of course just riles up Harry. And he shoots this giant, Iron Man like laser blast out of his chest here, and Peter says, "Wow, that hurt." And his suit's talking to himself, "We need therapy," and all these kind of things. So, and then suddenly, at the end of this fight here, we get the first appearance in this book since the very beginning of Ultimate Iron Man, as he says, "I told you I'd be back in 6 months, and here I am." And he says, "I've just got one question for you. Are you a hero yet?" And we've got Peter down here, cavorting with Dr. Octopus and the Green Goblin. So I'd say Peter really hasn't quite figured out how to be a hero yet. Really interesting direction they're taking this book in. Can't wait for the next issue. We already know Iron Man's on the cover here, battling Spider-Man. So this has definitely been my favorite Ultimates book so far. Love all the little hints to things that, we're looking forward to. Interested to see how it all play out, if any of that will be subverted, our expectations. So great art in here, good story. Highly recommend this comic book. So thanks for watching the video. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't yet, please do. And go check out my channel. I post daily comic book reviews every single day. I got a new one out. So I'll see you on the next one.